Hey, how you doing? I guess I'm the last person, so I'm not going to hold you guys from lunch. But Debbie asked me to come and present to you guys and talk about my story. So she didn't give me much of an intro to work with, but it's alright. For those of you that don't know me, I work in technology management, City Hall, network systems engineer in the city. I've been here for 4 years, originally from New York. So when I was born with congenital deformity, which resulted in amputations of my legs, both of my legs below the knee and my partial right arm below the elbow. Life in itself was difficult, and we're here at Men's Health, and a lot of guys, I can relate to a lot of guys, a lot of pride, a lot of dignity, and not asking for help. I was the same way, thinking I could do everything on my own. We hear about a lot of key speakers here talking about health and nutrition and what you should eat, should not eat, and I think there's a big pillar that we touched on a little bit, but we didn't really elaborate, and that's getting your mind right, and having a passion for your life, period, and that's I guess that's what I'm here to talk about, to pull everything together, and you can have wonderful, the best diet and nutrition, but if you don't have the passion for life and to apply all these tools and resources that these guys have talked about, you won't really go too far with it. So my first slide, it's when I first started off with Debbie, my first 5K. There's me and my walking legs right there. I still wear them today, and that was my first 5K that I ever did. Period. I was never into endurance, never did anything physically challenged at all. The most I've done was sprinting, but that's short distances, a long time ago. So I did this first 5K, I signed up, and I was telling Debbie the story last month, and she didn't even realize this, but I almost didn't even do this race. I sat in the parking lot, City Hall, for a good 20 minutes, debating with myself if I'm going to actually go out there and do this race. It was because of all these fears that I had, and I was fearful what people would think about me, how they perceive me to be, and it held me back, and for many, many years it held me back. So I made it out to this race, and I did it, and I felt, that was a wonderful achievement in itself. So I was onto something, that feeling, that passion, So I know you guys, I know everybody in here remembers where they were at 9/11. You know where you were at 9/11, what you were doing, where everybody was at 9/11. If I asked you to think about where you were last week, Monday, or what you were doing, I don't know if anyone could really recall what they were really doing on Monday. Let's look at their schedule, calendar. But so what that means is you got an emotion attached to that date, 9/11, right? So emotionally, you got that reminder, and that's what this 5K did to me. Emotionally, triggered something in my head, and from there, life started unfolding. So you got the nutrition, you got the tools and the resources to put things together and change your life. But if you don't have that passion and emotion behind it, you're going to start something 6 months and then you might fall off a little bit. Or you might stop altogether. It might just be something for a week or so, right? The young gentleman that lost all that weight, I'm sure he has an emotion behind all of that and lifestyle change, right? So that's my first 5K, and that saying up there, it doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you keep on going. I walked that entire thing, 46 minutes. I was in pain the entire time because I'm not used to doing that, and but I finished it, and that's what it's about. So next year, this is a slide of never giving up, right? Because you never know what's going to happen. So I was determined to better my time and to progress because I had that emotion, I had that passion, because there was something in me that I had never felt before. So I cut my sneakers up, and I started making my own stuff to try to get faster. Because I only had walking legs, I didn't have running legs like all those cool guys on TV. So I had to, I stayed up late after hours after work doing this stuff, and to try to become faster and progress and move forward. So I, the thing is, the message here is, not giving up. You have nutrition, you have, the dietary supplements, you got your workouts, but, you're gonna run into all these obstacles, but you just don't give up, right? So this is what I'm portraying right here. It's not giving up, no matter what circumstance I'm put against. So, yeah, next slide. So after I did my first 5K with those feet, I started in the world of triathlon here, and this slide depicts building my own bike legs here. I have an old set of legs. And, this is all regular Home Depot stuff. Those are specialty screws on the bottom there from Home Depot. Right there. So, long story short, I was in Home Depot and just, I needed some biking legs. I put everything out there on the floor, and I just made a big scene. I had almost the entire staff looking at me from the aisle end while I went to town in the nuts and bolts section of Home Depot, trying to put together, biking legs for myself so I'd be able to bike. So that saying up there is, there's no limit anywhere, and that's, I just wanted to showcase all of that for you guys so you could see that, it's not about nutrition, it's about that passion again. So, next slide. So, this is my first triathlon. I put this picture specifically because it caught the pain and the intensity on my face. And a lot of people have a lot of struggles, right? We all got setbacks, we all got fears, trying something new. And that picture depicts that pain. That's my first triathlon. I'm sitting in transition, coming off the bike, totally in pain. I had pulled that hamstring, and I couldn't even begin to fathom picking myself up and going and running 3.1 miles after that. So I didn't give up after that. I didn't give up at all. I kept on going. I gathered myself, and I ended up completing that triathlon running on those same sneakers. You can see them. They look like, my mom calls them Pinocchio shoes because they got little points at the end. But I ran on those things, to the very end. I was the last one, but I did it, finished it, right? And I had that emotion triggered behind it, that emotion that kept me going. So, next slide. So now, that was last year. Last year, June 2009, I did my first sprint triathlon. And 3 months prior, I had no help. So I'm kind of backing up a little bit because this kind of jumps fast forward. And 3 months into training, I finished that sprint triathlon, if you just saw that last picture. And I didn't have any equipment. I signed up for another race, and I worked my way through it. And then I had gotten a pair of running legs January 2010, this year. First pair of running legs, started training, and I set some intense goals for myself. And despite what anybody told me, anybody said, my mom, my parents, the closest people around me, with their negative things that they were telling me, I set the goals, and I went and I signed up for the Hawaii Ironman World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. And I had no backings whatsoever. All I had was a pair of running legs that I got in January 2010. And I embarked on this amazing journey. And this picture is me finishing the 2.4 miles. Now, if you guys don't know what Ironman is, 2.4 mile swim, 112 on the bike, and then a full marathon in 17 hours. You got to make cutoffs in certain points, right? So, yeah. So I finished that swim, and that's me finishing the swim, the 2.4 mile swim in an hour and 19 minutes. And everybody thought I wasn't going to make the swim cut because I'm swimming with one limb, really, literally. I don't have any kick propulsion. And I didn't quit. The swim starts so you get an idea. It's 1,600 people all starting in the open water swim all at the same time. And you got the world's top athletes out there that have qualified to make it to that race. And we're racing with pros, racing with top age groupers, everybody. And it is a madhouse. It's a madhouse swimming with 1,600 people at the same time. And I got bumped, I got pushed, swum over, got stabbed by fingernails by women and kicked by, feet, and you name it. I mean, everybody's competing for top, for spots, sponsorships, money prizes, everything. And I stuck it in there, and I didn't quit. I didn't back down from anybody, and that's me finishing record time. Hour and 16 minutes. No, sorry, an hour and 19 minutes. And it was an amazing feat in itself. I beat a lot of my athletes, partners that I train with, so that was pretty cool. So we make our future by the use of the present. There's no moment like the present, right? So that bike ride, a lot of people don't make that bike ride because it's ridiculously hot. So it was 112 that day. And, you know, Kona winds out there, it's upwards to 40 plus miles an hour, side gusts consistently throughout the entire ride. So that picture is me in the moment, you know, I'm living in the moment. Again, it's that passion, you know, having that emotion. So that's me, you know, that bike ride, you know, in the moment and putting together everything. As you can see, we're talking about nutrition, right? So you see all the bottles on the bike, so you know, nutritionally, everything was dialed in properly. So that's how I was able to finish that bike ride in a little over 7 hours. And next slide. And if you believe in yourself, you know, no one else will. So this is me finishing the finishing line of Hawaii Ironman. 14 hours, 19 minutes, defied everybody's expectations, my coach, everybody. Everyone thought I was going to do it in 5.5. I did it in 14:19. What that means to you guys, nutritionally, physically, mentally, passionate. Got to be passionate about what you can do, what you want to do in life. Dial it all in properly. You can have all the nutrition you want, take all the vitamins, supplements, but if you don't have that passion to dial everything in and drive towards it, you won't apply any of that to the degree that you can apply it to. So, first triple amputee to ever do an Ironman. This event won't be my last. So, next slide. And that's me, you know, at the very end, just giving glory. You saw the first slide, Philippians 4:13. You know, so that's me giving glory to God right there, because that's what drove me. That's the passion. That's what it was. You know? That's what it was. You know, that's my saying. That's what I live by every day. I wake up, I see it. You know, and that's what drives me. And that race was for the Lord, and that's why I did it. And you know, coming full circle with the pillars of nutrition, training, maintenance, recovery, all that stuff. You know, all that stuff needs to be dialed in properly, and physically and emotionally, mentally, you have to be there present to enjoy that and apply that. You know, so I don't want to keep it long. I just want to keep it real nice and short. So if you guys have any questions about nutrition, what I did, physically, mentally, training-wise, you know, it was very intense. 15 plus hours a day on top of working full time. But I mean, it's a rewarding lifestyle change that will go with me for a very, very long time. So yeah, thank you.
So now let me properly introduce you to the first triple amputee in history to ever complete the Southern Hawaii Ironman, Rajesh Durbal. Raj is a great sport. His story is just unbelievably amazing. You may see more of them. The Ironman has not actually aired yet on ESPN. It is set to air, what is it, 16th? 18th of this month. So after that time, you may start hearing some of the stories, but yes, he is the first triple amputee in history ever to complete this event. So, you know, to me it's going, oh my gosh, if Raj can do that, you know, you just kind of go, oh, I think I'll stop complaining, get out the door. So I very much appreciate him sharing that story with you. I'm going to switch over, and we're going to come back to a couple little things before we